The next scan type I want to look at is PCI scanning, and you can see that there is a pre-built policy for PCI audits. Okay, so this is prepared for PCI audits, is built into Nessus. We can also add our own policies for PCI scanning. I just want to show you a couple of the plugins that are enabled for that. So I can call this my PCI scan. And there are some parameters that have to exist in order to satisfy PCI requirements, such as scanning for all ports is one of them. So what some of our plugins will do is make sure that you configured your scan in accordance with PCI guidelines. It will also perform the look at the vulnerabilities and say, well, you had a cross-site scripting vulnerability, so therefore you're not PCI compliant. So I can add a filter in here to find them, just to show you the filtering capability again. If it contains PCI, okay, policy compliance, PCI DSS compliance, all these plugins should be enabled to do that, and it will find if your scan is, again, settings match PCI, and all of the different aspects in PCI, such as insecure communications. So you'll key off these plugins when you run the scan. So I've done some of that. Here's my example PCI scan. And if we add a filter again and we look at, well, why am I not PCI compliant? I say, well, show me all the plugins that relate to that. And I can say, wow, look at this. We can go to the host summary. These two hosts are not PCI compliant. Okay? And it's going to list out why. And here's why. Because I found directory browsing enabled. I found these high-risk flaws on all these different plugins. Here's why you're not PCI compliant. You can list them out by host, and you can generate reports off of this. So again, you can create a scan policy, use the built-in one that will look for PCI, sort in your results. I like to do two different reports here, one for systems administrators and one for more executives and management, which we'll get into the report settings. But that's kind of briefly how you would take a look at how you're doing with respects to PCI testing.